Say a special good morning to those of you listening to Classic Radio on a lovely Thursday morning. Those of you viewing GBN TV, let me say good morning to you also, my social media audiences. Good morning to you over there, Facebook, YouTube channel. Good morning to you. Bless Thursday morning to you. It's to the point. I'm your host, GT. I'll be around with you until it's 10 a.m. this morning. It's Thursday, and usually various departments within the RGPF should be having them in studio this morning. For some reason, they haven't arrived yet. That would have been enough of the delay in terms of having the program started this morning. We should be having some rep from the Community Relations Department. As soon as they get here, we will certainly do entertain them. In the interim, we probably could entertain an open line until they do pop in this morning. And so, of course, if you have, of course, some bit of an issue you want to speak about this morning, feel free to do so. And until my guests arrive. Let me say good morning to those of you, especially the visitors to the island who are here for the carnival activities. Let me say good morning to you and welcome. If no one else has told you welcome, like maybe the immigration department may have suddenly told you so. Well, welcome. I certainly hope you will enjoy your stay. Hey, don't forget, folks, go on out and be part of all the, the major activities for carnival. We have of course, the Queen Show tonight. We have, of course, the Soca and Groovy Monarch competition coming up. We have Panorama Dimanche Gras coming up also. Yes, Juve, Monday Night Mass. And if you're partaking in those activities, of course, I beg of you to be safe. Please be safe in terms of what you do. Be at your best behavior also. Don't be going out there looking to getting yourself into any problems that will derail your whole, of course, feeling that you may have for or that good times you were planning on having, that you don't want to have that derailed for any reason whatsoever. So my number 4352041, 4352041. We may have a temporary open line this morning until my guests do arrive. All right. Those of you who are driving along on the nation's roads, good morning to you also, and certainly best wishes goes out to you. I'm seeing my guests are here, so I'm assuming I may have to entertain them just a wee bit. So I will take master control. Let's take a short break, get the guests settled in, and certainly then we will get into the program this morning. Let's take that short break and come right back, get the guests all settled in.
Violence is never the answer. Let's talk it out. We need a safe space for our children to grow up, so let us respect each other. You see this little light of mine? I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna keep it burning. Remember, the answer is love. A message from the Ministry of National Security. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna keep it.
Spice Mass Corporation, in collaboration with the Grenada Steel Band Association, invites all to Panorama 2024. Come out to the Karani James Athletic Stadium on August the 10th to experience our journey. A brief look at the evolution of Pan in Grenada. 8 of Grenada's biggest steel bands would be vying to be Panorama Champions 2024. Bring your entire posse and represent your band. Lots of giveaways for paying patrons in the audience. Experience the magic of sweet steel band music for only $50. It's Pan, Sweet Pan, August 10th. Our journey, a story to share.
admission for just $15. You can win free gate passes to any Spice Mass semi-final or final show or other top Carnival season shows of your choice. From now to August 10th, every time you spend $15 in Daily Cash 4, Daily Pick 3, or Playway in a single purchase, check your ticket to see if the words "You are a winner" are written on it. Follow the instructions and redeem your winning ticket at any authorized show of your choice. All you have to do is present your winning ticket at the gate of your show of your choice for scanning. But guess what? The more $15 you spend in daily games in a single purchase, the more chances you have to win free gate passes. Compliments the NLA. Over 400 free gate passes are up for winning instantly, Monday to Saturday. Secure yours now. Spice Mass is on, and the NLA grants you free access. Must be 18 or older to participate. Terms and conditions apply. NLA, proud platinum sponsor of Spice Mass, making your carnival dreams affordable.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. It's to the point for today, Thursday, the 8th. And I did mention, of course, before the break, of course, my guests are here. With us this morning, representing the Community Relations Department, we have Corporal Lewis and WPC Roberts. Let me say good morning to you, officers. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning to you, sir, and good morning to the listeners of GBN.
Good morning to you, GT, and good morning to the listening public.
So do you remember the name, right? All right. Anyway, good morning to you. Good morning to you. All right, our conversation this morning basically will be based on the general safety for, of course, the season that is approaching. Carnival. Folks will say we're already into the season. But there's always the opportunity where the RGPF will pop in and share information about general safety. Because there's always the option of rules and regulations that folks need to follow, and to be safe in terms of whatever you plan on doing during the season that's approaching. So we're going to get into that conversation this morning. I'm not sure who wants to kick off the conversation this morning in terms of when we talk the general safety in for the season. What do we mean by that?
Yes, well, we basically would be sharing information on how persons can keep safe. We're looking at business safety as well, because we do understand that, yes, the season we're in, it's Carnival. It's one of our biggest cultural product, and it encompasses many facets. And so we want to provide that information out there that we can have a good Carnival, we can be safe, and we can move on with our lives.
All right. Safe. So when you say safety in general, I mean, if someone says, well, be safe, is I have to be safe in just being in the confine of my home? Safe in terms of the safety of my property. When we say safety, read some definitions in that way for me.
So we categorize it. So we would have what we refer to as home security and safety, and that's what we'll be advising folks on. Simple things such as clear around your house. Yeah, you don't want to have big hedges and bush where persons can hide, and where crooks could take that lapse or that level of vulnerability to pounce upon you and relieve you of your property. Yeah. And it's a staple of the RGPF where we advise homeowners, don't leave the key under the mat. Yeah. I think that's one of the things that even in the movies you see, that's one of the first places.
I think we picked it up from movies, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So we still get persons, making that mistake, and sometimes they're relieved of their property. So it's a very serious issue. And what we advise is to try to have that relationship with your neighbors, in that if you're leaving, probably you can have some level of communication. You can live there in a household where there's 2, 3 or more persons. Probably everybody could have a key. Yeah. I think that adds to the safety. If you lose your key, especially under suspicious, there's a level of suspicion around that, it may make sense that you change your locks. Okay. Rather than hoping and wishing that it turns out.
All right. Anything you want to add to that, WPC Roberts?
Right. The issue with the windows and doors.
Yeah.
Ensure that you lock all doors and windows, especially at night times and when you're leaving your property.
Yeah.
I must advise persons that the insect screens are not a form of a door or a window. They're basically for insects and insects only. So they cannot keep out like thieves away, burglars away.
Yeah, you don't take it as a major verification because you think it's stopping insect ain't going to stop a human.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So advise person to lock all doors and windows.
All right.
And there is the illusion at times that, we have that window is very high.
Yeah.
Nobody want to get up there. A well-motivated thief that is looking for valuables.
Yeah.
You might be surprised as to what he can achieve with that power of imagination and ingenuity.
Yeah.
So again, we emphasizing that we lock all the windows. Leave a light on at night time. It gives the impression that there is someone home. And generally, lighting around your property, it's a form of security because it means that that person doesn't have the element of surprise, and it's possible probably a neighbor might see that.
Yeah.
And there are those censored lights that comes on. There are, I think it's motion censored, the number
Motion
referred to.
sensor, yes.
So any object comes in close proximity, those lights come on. And
All right.
the
Can
key-
you, go ahead.
I will end on that. To me, as it relates to home security, because the affordability makes it an option for many persons now, having those cameras around your property.
All right.
Yeah, so that's a very, very, very good option. To me, it's one of the number one option as it relates to protecting your home.
All right.
I just want to add with the living on the lights.
Yeah.
It's better to have someone check in on your home, right? Because me going for days living on the light right through, that may be a form of suspicion to persons. So if persons like your neighbor, if you have a good relation with your neighbor or a friend that could go turn off the lights in the day, go back and put it on in the night, that will be a good thing to do.
I mean, there's the option now of adding those photo cells to your lighting system,
Right.
which doesn't actually need any physical, somebody physically coming to turn off and put on those lights. In the daytime, your lights goes off. When it gets to a certain time of the night, it comes on automatically. I mean, that could work as a bit of a deterrent for individuals. No, well, I maybe believe someone is not there because the light went off. You understand? But in terms of how individuals who may want to prey on you, in this day and time, individuals are becoming more, what's the word could I put there? More sophisticated, per se. Thieves who want to enter your home. So it's always an option. What's your take in terms of advice then to homeowners, as we still keep the conversation on homeowners, to be aware of individuals who may be coming around your homes that may not be a regular person in your community and so forth? What kind of advice would you say to individuals or their homeowners and the public in general?
Yes, I think based on the times that we are in and the level of threat that we are facing, it is advisable that you don't be that accommodating to strangers. People just coming up to you and wanting a phone call or wanting something, and they're very eager to get inside of your house. It might be an opportunity that they're seeking to see what type of security that you have and the measures that you have in place. So yes, we believe in cultivating, that relationships and with neighbors and so, but you also want to have at least be on your guard. Yeah. If you're getting that feeling that that strange
something
feeling.
in right in terms of that individual just popping up and me asking for a drink or what. Not that you may not want to, but sometimes you could just sense their presence of what their reason they're coming around for.
And a good thing to do is to engage people in conversation and try to get that look and have that stare. Because a lot of times people have sinister intentions. If you ask a few questions, they get uncomfortable and sometimes they just walk away.
All right. My next set of questions leads to your personal security. What advice or information you want to share with the public this morning in terms of your personal security?
Of course, we are in the season, so there's the expectations that we will be attending fetes and other carnival activities and so. And I always like to start with the movement of cash.
Yeah.
Now, it's not advisable that you carry along with you large sums of cash, especially if you're attending an event, You know, for example, you might get somebody in a show and you have $5,000 for that night. It is highly unlikely you're going to spend all that money.
Yeah.
And then you have it in one purse or a bag or so. So we say sometimes if it is necessary to have lots of money on you based on something that you may want to do, you could split it. Instead of having it in one purse or one bag or so, and then we advise that you keep your money in front of you. What comes with Carnival is that you get the extra movement of persons. And so somebody bouncing you or leaning into you, it wouldn't be alarming based on the season because you have greater influx of persons. So you may just treat it as just a casual contact. And that might be the timing that you are relieved of your property.
And that could be that individual's trade, as I could say, That's what they do, and that slight knock or push or whatever could be where they're taking away your personal belongings.
Yeah, so, be sensitive to the timing and everything. If you're shopping, you want to be on the lookout and everything, Just be aware of what is taking place around you and also get so caught up with the phone or you're distracted by some type of event that is taking place or so.
All right. WPC, anything you want to add
Yes,
to that in terms of personal safety?
Like, persons know that they're going somewhere.
Yeah.
They're going to a fete, activity, or event. We want to encourage persons to plan ahead. Know how you're getting to that activity, know how you're getting back home.
Yeah.
Especially the women. As women, we tend to have the mindset that we're women. We must get there, we must go back.
Yeah.
But as women, we have to protect ourselves from becoming victims of crimes. So know how you're getting back home.
Yeah.
Don't just accept ride from strangers. Usually you go to an activity, you're there, you're drinking. At the end of the activity, you're there on the side of the road with your hand up, flogging a ride. Right? We have to protect ourselves.
All right, great. Now, before we break, I wanted to touch a wee bit in terms of advice to parents and in safety of their children. That is something very, very crucial around this time of the year. Leaving their children unattended and so forth, maybe at home or going out to events and leaving their sons and daughters unattended, or allowing their children to attend events that they should not be attending also. What's the CRD, of course, advice on that?
All right. With the advice I'm about to share, I also want to highlight the work of the Royal Grenada Police Force in terms of how we approach that as an issue. And I know that we do have an ad out there where we are sharing that information. Now, there would always be events that are in terms of like age sensitive.
Yes.
Now, we do not want the children in the adult events. And even the event that is suitable for our children, we want to ensure that at all times they're properly supervised. So you don't want to be sitting and on your phone you're doing something and then your child just wander off and so. We have to be cognizant of the very fact that there are predators out there and there are people that have sinister intentions. So you cannot be naive, and safety of your children have to be paramount. This should be the number one thing on your mind. I cannot see you in an event where the event becomes more important than your children. That is just not acceptable. If you're leaving the kids at home, now we know this, children are curious. As a matter of fact, based on my experience as a police officer, I can share with you that during the carnival period, sometimes we tend to get a spike in house fires. Yes. And when those investigations are carried out, children normally plays a part. They find themselves into some type of mischief, they get some matches, they hide under a bed or so. Yeah. So all those things, that's a conversation you have to have with your children in terms of the safety and everything. You don't want to leave open flames and think that they could easily access or so. You don't want to do that. When you're leaving them home, you leave them with a responsible person. Now, normally we used to say, well, you leave them with an adult. You could be an adult and you could be irresponsible.
Yes.
And if in that house, you as a parent, you have concern about that adult in that house in terms of their being a responsible person, if generally you have those concerns, why around carnival? You become so trustworthy that you want to leave your child. Most of the crimes that are done to children, if you look at it, it's people that they know. And I say that to make the wider point that be very careful.
Yeah.
No show worth your child's life or their integrity. I can't see an event being more important than that. So as a parent, your number one priority should be your children. Again, we advise and we implore you that if you're leaving them home, make sure that they're with a responsible person. Have a conversation about fires. Make sure that you keep matches and other lighters, things that is easily ignitable, keep it out of their reach.
Yeah. All right. I mean, there's not only a responsibility, there's also the option of having a trustworthy individual also. Someone could be responsible, but they're not trustworthy enough to leave your sons and daughters with.
And we do have, we have aftercare services that are available now.
Yeah.
And both at nights and within the day. Something that we say to parents as well, during the daytime, if you're leaving them, you could have a system where you do checks. So from time to time, you call and find out how they are doing also. You know, you have at least some type of method by which you would come in contact with your children.
Yeah. All right. WPC, anything you want to add to that in terms of, the advice goes out from a woman perspective, no affected access, says in that way for parents who are leaving their sons and daughters unattended?
Right. So I want to speak more to those who will be taking their children to activities.
Yes.
Right. Sometimes children tend to stray away from parents, especially like you take your child or children to watch the fancy mass, and they tend to stray away from you for a bit. So we want to encourage the parents to give especially the younger children, to give them name tags, like with the names, the parents' name and contact information. Sometimes that child who may stray away, they come to you as the police. Sometimes they don't even know their name, their parents' name, or any form of information as it relates to who they are. So we want to advise the parents, give them the name tags. I
mean, in this day and age, folks may see that as a bit of a way off option, but it could be effective at a critical time. Thinking about you walking around with a name tag now, it may look a bit odd for the average person listening and say, why would I want to do that to my son or daughter? Or maybe if you don't want to put a tag on their clothing or something, maybe something in their pockets or something that could help. We due for a break. Let's take it. We're coming back with much more. Stay with us here. It's To The Point for today, Thursday. It's the 8th day of August. We'll be right back. Stay with us, folks. Don't touch your dial.
Labukan Creative Center presents the final staging of I Do at the Deluxe Cinema Grenville, Sunday, August 25th at 6 p.m. Tickets available at Labukan Creative Center, Gotefet, and St. Andrew's Pharmacy at $75. It's the most hilarious comedy ever staged in Grenada. It's I Do by Uriah Speakers, Sunday, August 25th, Deluxe Cinema Grenville at 6 p.m. Don't you miss it.
For Spice Mass 2024. Play Monday Night Mass with Waggity and Mega Force Promotions. This year we're playing Is Our Vibes. Packages include fluorescent pink t-shirts and tank tops, LED diamond wand, lighted bottles, lighted bracelets, LED glow hats, plus free drinks for only $130. $130 easy. Whoa, that's a deal. Powered by Waggity Rentals, Mega Sound System. Get your packages now, because in 2024 is our vibes.
We say, yeah, GBN we say, arts and culture living, yeah. Rock the box we say, I'm telling you, rock the box, rock the box, rock the box we say, I'm telling you, rock the box, rock the box, rock the box we say, we'll be jamming here on a Thursday. I want you to control your anger. There's a way to feel better. That's one thing to remember. No matter where you are, you can be a star. Stop and take a deep breath. gun inflicting a
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers, to The Point Classic Radio. Welcome back once again, officers. My next level of questioning that goes around, of course, as we're talking safety. Vehicle safety is also an important conversation we should have around this time of the year also, because folks may be attending various events, leaving their vehicle unattended, leaving their valuables in vehicles because they think, well, no one is going to, everybody, they may be thinking everyone is having a good time. So no one is thinking on that level, but there are individuals who will be out there with that particular mindset. That's what they're really being part of these activities for. What do you want to say as relation to vehicle safety around this time of the year?
Yes, so even before I start answering this question, I want to emphasize that to be driving a vehicle, you have to be the holder of a valid driver's license.
Okay.
And that vehicle have to be insured. And I'm raising this point because around Carnival, we tend to notice, things that should be in garage, we see it on the road. And sometimes you get the impression just because it's Carnival.
Take a chance.
Yeah, they take a chance. Now, taking that chance with that vehicle that is not in good operational condition, it means that you may have some type of mechanical failure.
Yep.
And that could result in serious damage to yourself as well as property belonging to
other
others.
Road users in general.
And we do not want that. The police will be checking around Carnival. It's one of the things that we do to ensure that we have safety. We have situations where we get those vehicles that shouldn't be off the road. And I'm telling you in advance, I'm not even leaving it as a surprise. I'm saying to you that the police will be checking. So if your vehicle is not in condition, you do not have that license, you shouldn't be driving.
Yes.
So let's get to the security of vehicles. Now, the earlier you get to a fete, the better your chances of having parking within well-lit areas. Now, when you come 2-3 o'clock in the morning or so, or at the later part, it means that you may get parking off the beaten path, and there are dangers that is associated with that. Yeah. It is not well-lit, there are not much persons in the area there. So there's the possibility that you could become a victim of crime. Now, you want to minimize that, again, by you don't want to leave valuable items in your vehicle. And let me also make this point. Leaving a firearm in a vehicle, because at those shows that you're attending, the Royal Grenada Police Force does not accept persons entering into those events with weapons. We say ahead of time that secure your firearm. You can leave it at the nearest police station. You may secure it in your home if you have your gun safe or so. But if you come to an event, you will not be allowed to enter into that event with your firearm. Okay. Now, that in itself creates the situation where sometimes you get that person decided that, nah, I ain't going home. I'll just leave it in the vehicle. And that's a mistake. That's a real mistake. And then you park off the beaten path. So you create all these difficulties. And now the police have to carry out investigation to find that firearm. How many wrongs you may have in that. Each wrong could represent someone's life. Yeah. And that's a very, very serious issue. So we are saying again, you do not leave your valuables in your vehicle. Now, there are cameras that you can install within your vehicles. And even if it's not in motion, it still records. Now, technology is really, really, really awesome. And yes, I get it. There are a lot of people that don't consider things like that. But you could have a conversation with places that sell those equipment, and they can advise you and even give you further advice on how you can secure your vehicles.
Anything in addition, WPC?
Yes, GT. What we're seeing lately is the trend that persons leaving the key in the ignition, the vehicle running, basically. And they may run to the shop or to the ATM machine, and before they turn around, the vehicle disappear. That's a no-no. Right. So ensure that when you're leaving your vehicle, you lock all the doors, windows, you remove the key from the ignition, and you go wherever you have to go to prevent theft of your vehicle.
All right. You know, another issue that sometimes I don't hear folks talk a lot about is making sure that your locking mechanism in your vehicle is proper. Because, everyone has ideas about things these days. and that individual who may want to purge, you may have ideas about how to pry open vehicles, and you may think, well, I could do this to my car and the lock, and nobody thinks, well, it's that easy by putting a little thump on the door and it opens. You understand? So I think the advice of telling individuals, make sure you get it to the proper dealership or wherever, make sure that your locking mechanism is working appropriately.
Yeah. And where parking is concerned, we can consider carpooling.
Yeah.
Because if you're attending an event that have parking, let's say for 300 vehicles, and then you have 1,000 people there with about 700 vehicles, you cannot accommodate it. And then you may choose to park in the road. That in itself create obstruction. Someone may rush you. It's dark, it's late. You may not have that eyewitness. And think about the amount of suffering that you would go through. So if 6 persons decide to attend the same fete, good friends, maybe you can go with 1 vehicle.
Yeah. All right. Anything further we want to expand on that?
I want to encourage persons to report any suspicious activity they may see. Sometimes you're doing activity, you may see persons roaming around vehicles or what the case may be. Please contact the police. You never know of person's intentions, so it's better to be safe than sorry.
Okay, all right. Well, folks, we're talking safety this morning, and of course, the season's approaching, and sometimes lots of folks may think it's, and an idea that just come to mind, I refer to visitors. Because, sometimes visitors may come to the island and live in other parts of the world, and they know issues that may occur in that part of the world. And they may come to Grenada, and not that we're saying that Grenada is a place that it may not occur, but you never know what can happen. So, and advice especially goes out to visitors who may think, well, I'm in Grenada, incidents of that nature may not happen. But any advice you want to throw to visitors, especially who do rentals or just moving around in general?
We have low levels of crime.
Yes.
It's one of the attraction that brings in the visitors and make locals fall in love with the country every day. But we do have crime. And crime can take place anywhere and sometimes everywhere. And there is that personal responsibility that you have to take. And you cannot leave that to someone else. While the Royal Grenada Police Force is charged with the primary function of fighting crime and dealing with situations that comes along that line, you, the individual, you must make decision that adds to your security and your safety. So if you fly into Grenada, I'm saying to you, yes, we have peace. Yes, it is relatively quiet. But there is the potential for crime. So, pay attention to your radio stations. You listen, you get programs like this, you get the advice. Carrying large sums of cash, you're new on the island, you want to fete, you're loud. That attract attention.
Yes.
So, having that sort of sober approach might be a better way to do it. Everybody don't need to know that you have lots of money.
Yeah.
You could have that thing. You're on the island, you drink what you could handle, and you don't want to be that person that is just sticking out that everybody could say, what, come down from America, you have it. No, don't do that.
All right. Officer Roberts, anything you want to add to that in terms of advice to visitors to the island?
I like to advise my women.
Yeah.
Right, so those who will be out in activities, be careful who you're accepting any drinks from.
Yeah.
Never leave your drink unattended.
Yeah.
And not just the drinks, the rides also. Yes.
All right. Okay. We do for a break once again. Let's take it. And we come back to the next segment. For those of you listeners and viewers out there, if you do have a question or two that you may want to add to the conversation, feel free to do so in the next segment. Stay with us, folks. To the Point here, Classic Radio. We have the Community Relations Department with us this morning. We coming right back. Don't touch it out.
For just $15, you can win free gate passes to any Spice Mass semi-final or final show or other top Carnival season shows of your choice. From now to August 10th, every time you spend $15 in Daily Cash 4, Daily Pick 3, or Playway in a single purchase, check your ticket to see if the words "You are a winner" are written on it. Follow the instructions and redeem your winning ticket at any authorized show of your choice. All you have to do is present your winning ticket at the gate of your show of your choice for scanning. But guess what? The more $15 you spend in daily games in a single purchase, the more chances you have to win free gate passes. Compliments.NLA. Over 400 free gate passes are up for winning instantly, Monday to Saturday. Secure yours now. Spice Mass is on, and the NLA grants you free access. Must be 18 or older to participate. Terms and conditions apply. NLA, proud platinum sponsor of Spice Mass, making your carnival dreams affordable.
Spice Mass Corporation, in collaboration with the Grenada Steel Band Association, invites all to Panorama 2024. Come out to the Karani James Athletic Stadium on August the 10th to experience our journey. A brief look at the evolution of Pan in Grenada. 8 of Grenada's biggest steel bands would be vying to be Panorama Champions 2024. Bring your entire posse and represent your band. Lots of giveaways for paying patrons in the audience. Experience the magic of sweet steel band music for only $50. It's Pan, Sweet Pan, August 10th. Our journey, a story to share.
Welcome back once again, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. It's To The Point Classic Radio. We have the Community Relations Department with us this morning. Before the break, I did mention, if there are listeners and viewers out there, if you do have a question or two that you may like to ask the officers this morning as related to safety or just your general concern, feel free to do so in this segment. We do our first caller via WhatsApp. Caller via WhatsApp, good morning. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Caller via WhatsApp, good morning. How are you? Good morning.
Hey, GT, good morning.
Good morning to you.
I have a question for the officers. Okay, like we in the diaspora coming down for Carnival, we drive. So then I want to find out that if we could use our U.S. driver's license to rent a vehicle, or do we need any permit to drive in Grenada, basically?
Okay, well, we don't have the traffic department with us this morning, but the officer may have some.
Officers, at least they should have some ideas.
All right, let me see if the officer is able to answer you. You think you could answer the question for the caller this morning as it relates to that? I know we with the Community Relations Department and the Traffic Department may be more suitable to answer a question of that nature, but if it's a general question that could be answered, maybe well.
Yeah, Shiti, coming from the international areas, you must get a permit in order to drive in Grenada. Okay. So you can do so at the Traffic Department, Wharf Police Station, and I believe Grenville Police Station.
South St. John's as well. So at most of the main stations, right. Yeah, so you get that permit there.
Well, it's also common knowledge that, especially if you're going to have a rental vehicle, whoever's going to rent you, those procedures has to be adhered to in terms of you having whether it's a temporary driver's license or so, just in order for you to be able to drive around. Let's entertain another caller. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning to your guests. There are people who are anxious to go out. They're so busy to go where they have to go around this time that they leave food on the fire. They're cooking, they leave the food on the fire, and they would tell the children, turn off the stove in half an hour. And that half an hour may never come. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, caller. Response to the caller in terms of relation to that, and it's a crucial point.
Yes, he's basically speaking to one of the lapses that takes place around Carnival. And yes, that's why we say that yes, we understand the season and the festive mood, but personal responsibility is something that you got to look at, and you have to be responsible. Now, doing something like that and trusting that decision with a child, I think we know that there's risks that come with that, and unfortunately at times that may result in someone losing their house through a fire.
All right. 435-2041. You have the option of calling and share, of course, some valuable information that if you want to share with us this morning, ask a question or two if you wish to do so. Feel free. We do have a caller via WhatsApp. Caller via WhatsApp. Good morning. Welcome.
Hello. Good morning. Yes, I just in relation to the person that would have called previously, putting into the license. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we're hearing you. Go right ahead, please. We're hearing you loud and clear.
Yes. Well, as an ex-police officer, the person should be advised that they should come into any station to obtain a temporary driver's license, but they should have the foreign license with them, and it should be up to date. So they will pay a fee. At the time when I was there, was $30. I don't know. I hear there is changes, but I don't really know how much. But I guess as much. The procedure remains the same. Yeah, so they must come with the foreign license and present it, and then they will be able to obtain a temporary license for 3 months to be able to drive on the road. So,
thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you so much for sharing that bit of information. I guess he's probably sharing information from his time that he knows about.
Yes, and most of the information is valid up to this point. We do appreciate our ex-officers, and we totally value their contribution.
All right. 435-2041. You can call me directly, 435-2021, or you could 435-2041 via WhatsApp, or you can call directly. As we continue with, of course, our safety conversation this morning, anything else that we may have missed that you want to make a reference to before we maybe entertain another caller?
Yes, I want to speak to the expected delays that usually accompany our large fetes, and I know Sukumorak is Friday, and yes, there will be delay, I can tell you that. Yeah. So with every large show that you have, we do security checks, and it is very necessary. Through those checks, we intercept weapons, we intercept, as I say, unlicensed drivers. There might be persons that are wanted for crimes, and so it really contributes to the overall security and the safety of that event. And I understand that persons will be inconvenienced, and at times they get a little bit annoyed, but this is one of the necessary things, and we thank you for your patience, those who show that patience. Those who are a little bit angry, we implore you to have some level of understanding as we try to make our carnival safer.
All right. And as expected, if you do not walk with any, weapons, you don't try to drive, and you're not licensed, then the delays will be minimal. Mm-hmm. You understand? So hope they do that. Caller via WhatsApp. Good morning. You're welcome.
Hey, good morning. Thanks, sir. With regard to having an out-of-state, out-of-country driver's license and driving in Grenada, I think it's important to also stress which side of the road we drive. And it's important that the markings and so on, in terms of which street is one way or two ways and so on, be cleared, because it's not just about the ability to drive a vehicle, but knowing the rules of engagement on our roads is very important also. Thanks.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. And I certainly know that will be given some consideration.
Yes.
Let's entertain another caller. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
I strongly feel that if someone has a license abroad and he wants to come into any other country to drive, he should be questioned. Give me a few questions to answer before he is given their license to drive. For example, he must know on which side of the road, where to park, and where not to park. And he must have an idea of the laws of that country. So you have, as a policeman, or whoever you get in their driver's license, should be able to question you. The people should question you. Now, I have a question. For security reasons, do you think that a man or a woman or anybody should enter somebody's premises, whether land, where you live, without calling you away from your home? In other words, it could be 10 feet, 20 feet before coming into your premises. Because this is a serious thing. He has to call you, and then he or she has to call you. And then I think you have to accept the call, and if he do not get an answer, he also is supposed to back off. What do you think of that? Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. Any response to the caller? I didn't pick up everything you were saying. I'm not sure if you picked it up yourself. I was a little bit distracted.
I think what I think he's saying, he has a concern to persons that probably want to enter into someone else's property, and I think he's looking at the scenario where that person would enter without being accepted or without that the property owner acknowledging them. Yeah. And every situation must be viewed on its merit. Now, not everyone would have a grievance with an issue like that, as well as you may have another person that may not be too kind to something like that. So I say it depends. Okay. Based on the relationship you have with a person, it may be a small thing for them to come to your yard, even though you didn't answer or so, and they may knock on the door. So you view it on merit. If somebody is uncomfortable with that, what I would suggest that you do not enter the property.
All right. I have a question here from someone. I'll try to decipher it a little bit so it comes across a little bit more clear. Someone is asking, of course, what do you do to address a perpetrator? Let's say, for instance, you're at your home and someone decides they want to invade your property, and you're at home. What is the procedure you should follow in terms of addressing a perpetrator when you think that your safety is being violated for some reason or the other?
Of course, the Royal Grenada Police Force is charged with that function in terms of enforcing the laws. And if someone is illegally entering into your home, then you should seek as far as possible to contact the police. If that is not an option and it's a situation where you have to protect yourself, the Constitution do makes provision for people to protect their property. By virtue of me saying that I'm not encouraging any vigilante type of activity, and because me saying that as an officer, someone will hear that and just get excited, and no. Any type of action that you take in terms of protecting yourself and protecting your property, that action would have to stand up to legal scrutiny. Yeah. Any level of force that you use, it will have to be justified in terms of proportion to the level of threat that you were facing. So it's not as simple as so you just take up something and you just do anything.
Someone is invading my home, so I'm defending my property. It's not always that the proper procedure that you should follow.
You have a right to protect yourself, but do it in a way that it's legal.
All right. For instance, we know around this time of the year, folks, sometimes the use of alcohols and other substances may have folks thinking in a different direction, for say that. What sort of advice would you like to give out to folks? They be revelers on the streets and so forth, having a good time. And there are folks who sometimes, if you could say it in regular conversation, they come to look for trouble. You understand? What advice would you like to give to individuals out there in terms of trying to alleviate that situation when it do occurs for some reason or the other?
If you're speaking to the consumption of alcohol, it's important that if you are consuming alcohol, you do it to the level that you're able to control yourself and be in a position where you can render good decisions. And you do not want to drink alcohol to the extent that you're not aware of your decision making, because saying that you were drunk wouldn't be an excuse for you committing a serious crime. There will be the consequences. So alcohol in itself does not absolve you from foolish actions or inappropriate actions or reckless actions. And alcohol do impair your judgment and your decision making. And so it is very important that you drink to your limit. If you are with friends, because I believe friends must take responsibility for other friends. So if I'm liming in a group and we have a buddy and we realize, well, he's doing a little bit too much, I think that's one opportunity to, if we have to take him and remove him from that event. Yeah, especially if it's somebody we know that has a vehicle. Friends don't allow friends to drive under the influence of alcohol. So definitely we're taking that key from that vehicle.
Yeah.
And really and truly, don't drink to the extent that you don't even know yourself, because you could easily be a victim of somebody relieving you of your property or other things. In the case of women, there will be those who may want to take advantage of you in your moment of weakness, and you don't want to bring yourself to that spot.
All right. It's already a minute or two after 10 o'clock, which means we should get some closing contributions from both officers this morning before we take a wrap. Anything in closing? Let's start off with, of course, Officer Roberts.
Right. So, GT, I must say that Carnival is our thing.
Yeah.
And we all have a responsibility to ensure that it runs smoothly and everybody is safe. So I want to encourage persons to be responsible in terms of their behavior, their drinking, and their driving. And on that note, I must wish everyone a happy, violent-free, accident-free Carnival.
All right.
Yes, and I take this opportunity to really, implore our parents, let us love our children. It is Carnival, but we still have to love our children. Let us continue to make those decisions that keep them safe. In everything that we do, let our children be at the forefront of our minds, and let us do everything in our power to ensure that they are safe during the Carnival season.
All right. I want to thank you, officers, once again for being on the program this morning and sharing the necessary information that relates to safety. And I certainly hope all listening viewing owners would adhere to some of the information that was dispersed this morning and make the proper use of it. Thanks once again, and best wishes.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for having us.
Hey, folks, that's where we take a wrap for this edition of To The Point for today. Join me again tomorrow for another edition. Have yourself a good one, folks. That's where we say goodbye, and best wishes goes out to you once again. Goodbye, folks.